close to each other for that camera too.
Okay.
So yeah, so this is where I had Weirdo Camp here.
Amazing.
And I got people together and for 3 Saturdays in a row.
Also, you have the best names for your things.
I really wanted to get people together who really did think about themselves affectionately as a weirdo, right? If that doesn't resonate with you, this is probably not the event for you.
It's not the energy.
So I did that really deliberately, but I had a few people tell me like they kind of cringed and didn't really want to be a part of it because of the title. Like, that's okay. There'll be some other...
It calls in the right people.
Yeah, there'll be some other thing that we do. So we had so much fun, and the education was all focused on learning how to speak up for yourself.
Amazing.
Peacefully, right? Like the difference between setting a boundary. I'm just going to check the other camera because I'm sort of obsessive about it. So the difference between setting a boundary and you look great. Setting a limit on someone else's behavior.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, you said no one will come to a workshop about boundaries, but they'll come to Weirdo Camp.
Right?
Which
Who
is
would
so
come
true.
to a workshop about boundaries?
It's so true.
But like, if I say to you, don't call me after 9 p.m., that's my boundary. That's not really a boundary. What I'm saying is I'm putting a condition or a limit on your behavior. But the boundary maybe would look like, I like a peaceful house after 9 p.m., so I turn off my phone.
Yes.
It's my boundary. It's my action.
I couldn't be
it's
more
my responsibility.
on board with this.
And comparatively, do I even need to tell anyone that I have this boundary? Because it doesn't really have anything to do with them.
Right.
But what I might say is, hey, if you call me after 9 p.m., I'm not going to answer.
Right.
I apologize. That's just the way I am.
It's like communicating the boundary instead of enforcing their behavior to be the boundary.
Trying to set a limit on someone else's behavior.
Yeah.
And often we'll attach like our outcome to their behavior.
Yes.
For example, I'll be happy when I get home because Jason will have the dishes done.
Yeah.
So now I've set myself this lovely condition that I'm
You've
ready.
set both of you up.
I'm prepared for a fight, prepared to be angry, right? All of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm a big believer that boundaries are like 90% your energy and maybe 10% what you actually say. So especially emotional boundaries. If someone's doing something and you're taking it on, but you instead of saying, you need to stop doing that, you need to stop talking that way, and instead you energetically decide that you're not here for that. And then you may say, I'm going to step away. But the stepping away only has any impact because you're aligned with the boundary.
Right. It's not conditional. It's not an emotional attachment result or something like that, but it's more to do with what's going on inside of you. So what we dug into for Weirdo Camp was that the nature of the secret to success is to be okay with who you are, right? Yeah. How can if I need to like actually understand what I actually want and what I don't want.
Yeah.
And maybe I can attach some vocabulary to it and then I can take action kind of thing.
It's like the difference between managing other people and checking in with and living from yourself.
That's hard for me because I am a manager and a bossy boss. And when I get the news like in my face, like, you're limiting your success, Emily. You're standing in your own way. I'm always like, oh,
yeah. Can't
I delegate this? Can't I create some pip for someone to follow so that they'll behave more like me?
My favorite is when people do using the 9 o'clock boundary thing.
Yeah.
When then they say to someone like, I don't take calls after 9 o'clock, and then someone calls and they're like super offended.
Yes, and they get mad at them. I told you not to call me.
Especially if they answer.
I told you not to call me.
Yeah.
Right. So when people say take your power back.
Yes.
This is what they mean. Okay. Yes. We have placed the outcome results outside of our body. Like Jason and the dishes, right? The dishes will be done, so I'll be happy. So I've placed the control over my emotion outside of my body. Yeah. The sentence, take your power back, doesn't resonate with me. But when I think about taking that thing and putting it inside me, oh, that works for me.
That does. It makes sense.
And sometimes the groups, when we gather together, what works so beautifully is that's what we're doing. We're just developing those words in our thinking and our understanding. And that's why I like to ask people these 3 questions. But before we do that, let's talk about this.
Oh, let's talk about this.
Yeah. So I did a little bit of Googling.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because I couldn't get my hands on it because I wanted to go to the Briar Patch and get it in person because
we
Gibran, Briar Patch, local, right? So downtown Bangor, I'm planning to go to the Briar Patch to buy this local author's fiction book. Is there going to be more? Is this a series?
It's not a series. This
Okay.
is a standalone, but there'll be more books by me. I hope.
Yay!
I have one that I've already written that I just need to
Oh, that's exciting.
polish
Do
up.
you want
Yeah.
to tell us a little bit about it or no? The one that's pending.
Well, that one's
Oh,
a mother-daughter story over
okay.
time, and like this one,
Yeah.
it has a braided narrative, so it's told by both perspectives. The mother's
Ooh.
more point of view in the past, and the daughter's in the future as an adult daughter.
And this book, help me if I get it wrong, but I think that it's about a plane crash.
It
And
starts with a
there
plane
are
crash.
two women who they lose their spouses at some point in the book, and it's about that grief and the process of.
Close. These women are strangers, and they
Okay.
meet because their husbands die in the same plane crash.
Ah,
And things become, they have to unravel some things that don't quite add up for both of them.
there's a little mystery.
There's a mystery at the heart of it.
Ooh.
And so the tagline on here is the most dangerous lies are the ones we tell ourselves, because while things don't quite add up for their husbands, in the aftermath of the crash, they realize that they haven't been exactly honest either with themselves.
Oh, yeah.
So it's very female centered.
Okay. I love that. I love a good female centered book.
Yes.
I put on the cover of my book a dude scratching his head. And you see him from the back, and he's standing at the crossroads, and he just scratching his head. And somebody said to me, "Why'd you put a guy on your book?" I'm like, well, why would a guy ever pick up a book with a picture of me on it and the word relationships? No dude is going to pick up that book. But if they see a picture of themselves on the cover, they might pick it up.
Sneaky.
Isn't it?
It's weirdo camp in a book.
So I'm excited. So where else can people find this besides locally downtown Bangor at the Briar
downtown.
Patch?
And they have signed copies.
Oh,
It's available on everywhere else. Amazon, BAM, online, all those.
okay.
Yeah.
Wherever you look for a
Wherever
book.
you get books.
Is there an audio version? Will there be an
There
audio
is
version?
not yet. I hope someone wants to fund that. I would love to have one.
Ooh.
I love audiobooks. I mostly listen to
I
fiction.
mean, we have some equipment.
True.
And we have two. Just saying.
Stay
Maybe
tuned.
we'll think of something exciting because we really like spending time together. It turns out. Would you pass me that pen and paper over there?
Yes.
I have a feeling I'm going to want to take some notes.
I met Emily at our women's networking group. She came and did a talk, and it was during the Olympics, and she was wearing a gold tracksuit and this short, adorable pixie hair and the smile that lit the world. And I was like, I do not know who she is, but I need to know her.
Yo.
And she gave this great talk, and she told us that she was wearing the tracksuit because of the Olympics and gold. And
it's a good excuse to pull out a really banging outfit. I got that outfit for a Decades Day, like Spirit Week at work from 2 jobs ago. But I wanted it I didn't want just like a novelty tracksuit.
Right.
So I ordered it like from Canada, from this tracksuit company. Like it's a legit, it looks like an old people's tracksuit, right? It's gold with like blue and a white
It looks
bar
like she
across
should
it.
be mall walking.
Yo, and I wore it in a we did a video shoot for Dreamer Food this summer at the food truck, and I wore it like as a character and like walked up to the window. And so there's only so many times you can like really rock an outfit like that. Olympics.
It was perfect. It was perfect. Emily just has this contagious energy that just makes you want to get close to it.
I have a lot of fun.
It's fantastic.
Well, look, we have people watching.
I know, that's crazy.
Live.
Hi, people. This is my very first
live.
Facebook Live. I didn't even know how to do it.
Gosh, this is so
Emily
fun.
had to set me up.
So we are together today to talk about my 3 questions, and I'm so excited that you wanted to sit down and have this discussion. I have been asking people these same 3 questions over and over again. And what I'm excited about is 2 things. One is the trends that I see in answers, because I find it fascinating that we have so much in common, even though we have nothing in common, right? Yeah. And also, people are so incredibly generous in their sharing, and I get surprised by people. And that just doesn't happen all that often. So I'm really excited about this. Yeah. Do you feel ready to dig in?
I do. Yeah. I purposefully did not think too much ahead because I didn't want to have a rehearsed answer.
Do you feel comfortable? You need to shift your stool or anything? You're good? Okay. I feel good too. Okay. So the first question is, where do you see sacrifice in everyday life? And it's a 2-part question. That's the first part. Where do you see sacrifice in everyday life? And the second piece is, how can you tell that it's actually sacrifice that you're looking at? So what is the qualifier?
I love it. So I think most people think about sacrifice as something that you're giving up of yourself that you maybe wouldn't want to. which adds an element of like maybe non-choice.
Mm.
I think the most sacrifice that I see personally is people giving up their actual selves. So showing up in ways that are different than what is true to them, whether that be,
I was going to say, what's an example?
yeah, not setting a boundary, not saying what's true, not saying what you want.
For like, if I say to you, what do you want to do tonight?
Yes, and I
And
say
you
I don't care.
right, but what you mean is I want to stay home.
Right.
What you wish you had said
Yes.
was, I don't feel like being with people, or I need to hide tonight, or whatever.
Yes.
But that's vulnerable.
And it could be, you know, are you hurt? Are you angry? No, I'm fine. That is a big one. I see so much sacrifice, especially in women,
Mm.
in communicating how they actually feel about a situation. And so
At work too, I bet a
yeah,
lot, right?
a lot of women will tell me that they are just very resistant to oh, hi Heather. To conflict. That
Yeah.
they don't like conflict. And I get that some people are more conflict averse, but generally speaking, it's also something to hide behind, a way to say, I'm not, I don't want to be seen that way. I don't want to be seen at that level. So
Yeah.
people pleasing
Yeah.
is always a sacrifice.
We forgot to mention that this is another service that you do. Like, you work with women
I do.
as a coach. Do you want to talk about that just a little bit?
Sure.
Like,
Yeah. I am an empowerment coach for women. I help women connect with their authenticity. And I'm really passionate about helping women own their gifts. I think that every woman, every person,
yeah.
but I'm really focused on women. We have so many gifts, and the world has really sold us a lot of lies about who we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to be, how
For
we're
sure.
supposed to look. And we spend all our time trying to be what everyone needs us to be. And authenticity is something now on top of that for women. Like, no, but also be yourself. Like, in your spare time, be
and
yourself.
be yourself authentically out loud.
And perfectly.
Yes.
Almost. There's
Yeah.
that too. Which
Don't
authenticity
apologize for it.
is not perfect.
Right.
It can never ever be perfect. It's the whole spectrum
It's
of
so
you.
interesting.
So
when you talk about women, you'd see women and they're sacrificing in this stuff. Like, I just wanted to give them that lens too,
yes.
like, because you're working with women a lot and specifically seeking to help them find their path to that space, right?
Yeah, and to find their power, because I think most of the time women are leading the lives, even without knowing it,
Mhm.
that other people have set for them, even inside their own selves.
Yeah.
Even inside their own
The
heads.
story we tell ourselves.
Yes. Which is a whole other part of how I work with people, is on updating their stories and their automatic ways of thinking and being. But I think that the world needs women as they are with their gifts. And to do that, you have to be able to stand on your own, and sometimes alone.
Yeah.
So I help women build a system in themselves to be able to do that. Not because they owe the world something, but because I truly believe they won't be fulfilled as themselves unless they're being themselves.
Yeah.
So a lot of the sacrifice I see is playing small, hiding, disowning gifts, things like that. Now, you can also talk about sacrifice as far as like raising kids. I mean, there are a lot of sacrifices that go into raising kids, and some of them are, there's a spectrum even of that, you know, sleepless nights.
Sure, there are.
What parent doesn't want to sleep through the night when they're not? But in general, sometimes it's about choosing the sacrifice. I think about parenting, for instance, and there are so many times that I would do something that my child needed or wanted that wasn't necessarily what I needed or wanted. Was that a sacrifice? Yes, but it was a chosen one.
Yeah.
Versus,
right, it felt voluntary.
I can't say no. Yes, and so I don't think sacrifice itself is bad. I just think that when it's not chosen, it can be very problematic. So sacrifice can be going against what you truly want or need in a moment, but it can also be giving up huge parts of who you are. So it could be lesser or it can be more. And depending on where you are, it has different consequences. So I think then sacrifice by how it impacts you, what you might be giving away of yourself.
The measure or the indicator that a sacrifice is or has happened can be measured by how you feel relative to the action.
Yes, because the action itself, it has no value associated with it. So me driving my 14-year-old to take her to work and then pick her up past my bedtime wasn't a choice, like wasn't something that I was burning to do,
You
but
didn't,
I
yeah.
wanted that opportunity for her. And so it was a chosen
Right, right.
sacrifice that didn't feel like it was robbing something of me, because it, in part because it was a choice, and in part because I also know how to make accommodations for
Mm,
like lost sleep or
yes.
things like that.
Do you find that one degree of sacrifice might have more value than another?
Yes, but probably per person.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, for some people, having their entire day changed time wise because someone was super late, it just isn't a big deal. For me,
Right,
that's a big one.
right.
I don't know why. It just is for me. Like, if everything gets completely off schedule because someone made a choice early on, or maybe it wasn't a choice, but
Sure.
that's
Right.
harder for me.
Sometimes chronic lateness seems like a
Yeah,
disability,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Versus something for someone else that might be a big deal for them.
Mm,
It might be, um, if they have to pay extra money for something, that might be a sacrifice more
right,
so than
right.
for someone
Yep.
else.
Absolutely. I sat down with one friend who talked about sacrifice in terms of involuntary kind of only. Like that was her view of sacrifice, is witnessing those involuntary
Yeah,
things. Like if you had medical debt and now you're unhoused, and that you couldn't you couldn't have helped the accident that happened.
right.
This wasn't necessarily easy to trace back through your own direct actions that this happened to you,
I see.
right? And now you're unhoused for whatever reason. You
Right.
didn't have a savings account, you didn't have insurance, right? Whatever the things,
Yeah.
and now you're unhoused. And the indignity that you experience when you're someone who lives outdoors all the time
Yeah.
is tremendous, right?
Yeah.
So she specifically talked about like the indignities associated with things when it's out of your power, and that you're literally sacrificing. Isn't that interesting?
It's very interesting. It's actually such a good and painful example, but it makes me
But it
think,
may I might use a different word.
if you extrapolate it out, it's very similar to the way that I think about it,
Yeah.
which is it's more a sacrifice if it doesn't feel
Mm,
chosen than when it
yep.
does.
I think that my friend was experiencing empathy, thinking about people who have been forced to sacrifice their dignity and their
Yeah.
da 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 da. I think she was feeling empathy and her heart was breaking
Yeah.
on their behalf. And she was probably experiencing a little bit of sacrifice in that moment,
Yeah.
giving up some of her guarded feelings, or she was able to engage in thinking about those people in a way that was more like building a connection to them. I just find it
It is
fascinating. Yeah.
fascinating. There's something too there about, for me, around sacrificing something that I can't get back.
Mm.
I mean, there are just,
Like time.
yeah,
Yep.
or my ethics, like in a situation,
Yeah.
something where I'm sacrificing my integrity.
If you
I've been
just
in,
make a choice to bend the rule a little bit, or to step into a gray area that maybe you wouldn't, maybe you've
yes.
never done that before, or even it could be just like lying to ourselves.
Well, that's where I was going to go with that, is that I'm I'm to the point now where I'm like not willing to sacrifice myself. To self abandon feels so bad to me.
Good.
I'd rather have the discomfort of the interaction with someone, or the
Yep.
boundary, or the whatever, because it makes me almost sick to do
Yeah.
it. And so, for better or for worse, sometimes that means actually stating how I feel, even though the situation could go without it being said.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's fine
Sure.
to leave it unsaid, but I've needed so much practice in not sacrificing myself
Yeah.
specifically, that I will go out of my way to make sure that I am taking the brave step to say what's true for me,
Nice.
even if it doesn't change anything.
It takes up a little space,
It
doesn't it?
does.
I'm
And
getting better
like
at that.
anything, it's a muscle. It
Yeah,
grows, so
right.
you get better at it.
Yeah.
And that's what I notice now. So that when I'm presented with a situation where in the past I would have sacrificed myself, and I'm
Or
not
even
talking,
considered it.
yes,
Yes.
I'm not talking globally about
Sure,
sacrifice,
sure.
but personal sacrifice of self. Now, when I see it coming, I'm like, oh, I see you a mile away, and I'll tend to cut it before it's even going to happen, because
Me too.
yeah. There was a situation I had. This is so small, but this
But it
represents
matters.
it for me.
Yes.
I was at an author event, lots of authors selling their books, and there was an author selling a book. they were all selling books. So it was almost hard to even want to network with people because everyone wanted you to buy their book, and there were
Yes,
hundreds of
that's
us.
so hard.
It
And the
is.
measure of success that day maybe is how many books you sell. That can be really
Exactly.
hard.
So I picked up this woman's book, and I was interested in her and her story, and yet it wasn't the type of book I would read. It wasn't a
Sure,
topic I would
sure.
read or enjoy.
Yep.
And she said to me, "Can we trade books? You want to trade books?" And I said, "Sure." And then I walked away, and I thought, I didn't even for a second ask myself if that's what I wanted. I just automatically said yes.
Interesting that you noticed, the lack of thinking and processing. That's so interesting.
That gap gets shorter
Yeah.
as you get better at it.
Mm.
My gap is still sometimes right after it happens. So I walked back to my spot, and I thought, damn it, now I have enough awareness that I know I don't want to do that. So if I do it, I'm doing it for her comfort, and I'm selling myself out.
And that
if
was
I
not what I
don't do
intended
it, I'm
today.
going to potentially hurt her feelings, which I also
Right?
didn't want to do.
Right?
Because so what I said was, I guess it was before I walked away, because I said yes, and then it hit me, and I said, well, let me see where I'm at the end of the day. That felt like a good
Oh,
bridge.
yeah, that's a good.
But then when I went back, I knew I didn't want to do it no matter how many books I had left. Now, for some people, this is like not a big deal. They'd just be like, just trade the book. Just be done with it. But for me, it's so much bigger.
And I was
than
going
the
to
book.
say, so I want to hear about your approach back to that discussion later. Like at the end of the day, when you were solid, the message here was solid and clear. I don't want to trade books. So now you're approaching a potential conflict.
Yeah.
And what I love to do is practice having difficult discussions.
Yes, right, you do.
So like, how did you approach that? And how, do you mind telling me how it turned out?
No, I don't. I just want to bring sacrifice in for a second, because I felt like at that juncture, I had to sacrifice something. It was going to be me or it was going to be her.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. That might be a false dichotomy.
Maybe,
but I
but
want to say
in the moment.
that is, for me, that's one that I'm having to work through, is this sense that it's either me choosing me or I'm choosing someone else. And how do I navigate that without being selfish?
Yeah.
Or uncaring, which I'm not an
Or
uncaring person. So
at least like, and feel okay about myself at the end of it.
Yeah.
Right. Can we say that instead of selfish? Or
that's a better.
Yeah. How can I live with myself?
Yes.
After this.
Also, how can I be in integrity with myself and in integrity with you? Like, how can I treat you in a way that upholds how I want to care about you and still say no?
Yeah. And hopefully the other person can feel that
Yes.
that's your intention in that whole thing.
So that breaks down the idea that saying no is sacrificing for someone. When in fact, I think when we say no to people, we give them a gift, because we're, instead of giving them our resentful selves, people can trust that we're giving them what's true for us.
And that is a magical thing when you get to experience that with someone else, and you just know, like, this person doesn't lie to me. Yes, so I'm just going to go ahead and believe what they say. I'm just going to decide to believe that it's true, and then I'm going to act like I believe it's true.
Yes. I believe people who have good boundaries, I find them more trustworthy. Well, I don't like guessing with people.
They understand themselves
better. It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yes. So I actually wrestled with this through the rest of the afternoon, how to handle it, because I knew I needed to handle it. Yeah. I knew it wasn't something that I was going to I couldn't do it. I couldn't make myself do it because I had too much awareness for that. And so my plan was actually to go by her and say, thank you so much for the offer, but I'm going to pass.
Nice.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, that is not
with
an
great eye
thing
contact,
to say. Yes.
Right? And open body language.
Yes.
And
open heart.
And mean it. Yeah.
And in the end, for a host of different reasons, I had to scoot out early, and the thoroughfare where she was really congested, and so I had to go around, and so it was a non-issue. I didn't actually have to do the face-to-face, but it wasn't a cop-out.
Yeah,
I would have done it.
Yep, you were ready.
Matters as much to me as if I had done it.
I 100% agree with that. 100% agree. It matters just as much, your process and being prepared to walk into that discussion with a peaceful objective, and you've checked your motives and what do I really mean here. And even though it was just this small thing, like you were saying, right? Somebody might be like, big deal.
It's just a book.
But
it was so much more than a book.
It is. It matters.
It's this idea that when people want something from me, I owe them myself.
Yeah.
And that's fundamentally what I'm rewriting in my life. People want my time, people want my energy, people want my ideas. It's flattering, but I also I need to trust myself enough to know that I'll say no. So self-sacrifice to me is the greatest, most costly sacrifice we have.
Mm.
And I see it in people when I see them shrink a little bit more
Yep.
into themselves. And it's not even that they're shrinking away from a moment as much as they are shrinking away from their own truth.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, sacrifice doesn't always have to mean anything to the external situation. No one might notice. But when you say no to yourself, I'm not going to listen to you, I'm going to just give people what they want, I just think it breaks some things apart in you that are hard to reclaim.
Let's just hang out in this space for a minute, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
Like, I want to try to elaborate a little bit, or find another example that we can show where we shrink into ourselves. I think it happens at work all the time.
Yeah.
Like, gosh, I'm having trouble thinking of something, or a time where we could celebrate ourselves, but we don't.
Yes. So self-promotion. We talked a little bit about that before we started.
We have all the shame around that.
Yeah.
Right?
I love watching women do this really well.
I wrote a book.
Yeah.
By the way, I wrote a book. Don't tell anyone.
I mean,
right?
That's actually such a good example for me, because I was thinking about coming here this morning and how natural this has become for me to be like, yeah, I wrote a book. You want to buy it? It's available here, here, and here.
Yeah.
And how I used to be like, I have a book on my laptop. I'm hoping someone might at some point knock on my door and say, don't you have a book? We'd like to read it.
Right.
Versus being the person that's like, I have a book. Read it. Publish it.
It's hard to do.
And how that is an internal process.
Yeah.
That is not just an action-based process.
Yeah.
It takes your own self-belief. And there are two people that I have in my life that do this really well. One is my yoga teacher, who I don't actually know because she's online, but she'll say something like, if you like this video, check out this whole series I made. I'm really proud of it. It's really good. And I'm like, dang, look how well she did that.
Oh.
And the other person is Taylor Swift, who I wish I knew personally,
love her so much.
but I don't.
Listen, I don't care what any of you guys say. I love her.
Yeah. I mean,
come on.
Even if you don't like her music, she's incredible.
T-Swizzle, I like to call her. I love her.
She says things like, I'm so proud of this album. I've never made anything I'm more proud of. I love this song. I love these lyrics.
It's amazing.
And she doesn't say it in a way that feels self-promoting. She just says it like it's true because it's her experience of it.
Like talking about a sweater that feels really good, or a book that you really enjoy,
or saying your tracksuit was a banging outfit,
right?
Like, and I wanted to pull it out again.
And I was nervous that day. Yeah. I was nervous to go speak in front of peers, right?
Yeah.
And I was nervous to take a risk by wearing that outfit. I would
never know.
I almost didn't wear it. And then I put on the gold Converse with it. My mom gave me these gold Converse. I didn't think I was ever going to have an opportunity to wear these shoes. They're gold high tops.
Yes, they are.
I did not think I would ever wear these shoes. They're perfect for this outfit. But like, I did the Superwoman pose.
Yes. I do that all the time.
Right?
Yeah.
And it just helped me draw my energy. I don't know a better word to use. I know that language doesn't track with some people.
Well,
but I needed to like draw in my energy and be like, let me check the facts. This tracksuit rocks. It is the Olympics. It's a gorgeous day. And the people who I'm going to go spend time with want me to succeed.
They also want you to come as you.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we
put shout out to Tuesday Forum.
Yes.
It's today.
A wonderful women's networking group in Bangor, Maine.
Since the 1980s.
It helps to put ourselves in environments where people do truly want us as we are, not our perfected version. So I don't hang out in spaces where people either can't handle me being me, or need me to look a certain way or be a certain way. Like, I'm over that.
It's just not going to work.
It's just,
it's
I just don't want to anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's no fun.
That was really, thank you for exploring those ideas with me a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll circle back to them a little, but let's start on the second question. Okay. Do you feel like you had adequate space to answer
totally.
that?
I had something in my head that flew out, so maybe it'll come back.
If it comes
around.
back, and here, I'll share this just in case something comes up, and then just jot it down. Good. So the second question is, how can you tell when someone is good? It's a loaded question, right? How can you tell when someone is good is the second question.
The brilliance is actually in how you've worded the questions. It's not in the answers anyone gives. They're great questions.
I love to talk about the questions and the answers. So feel free, just let it rip.
Okay. My belief is that everyone inherently is good, and everyone inherently has the potential for bad. Like,
Yeah, some people like to call it shadow. Like it's
yeah.
getting trendy, sort of, to talk about shadow work and like
Oh, I do a lot of shadow
looking
work.
at our shadow
I know
stuff.
it's trendy now. I'm like, oh,
I
look at
love
that.
it.
So when I see someone say, I can't believe they did that, I would never do that. I think, can't say that. Nobody can say that. I would hope that I would never kill someone, but I can't say that I know for sure.
Yeah, no, I can't. Or like if someone embarrasses themselves,
Yeah.
like they spill something all over, or they fall down the stage, or they say a thing
Yeah.
in front of everyone that they maybe
Yes.
shouldn't have said quite
Right,
that
exactly.
way.
And I know I've been at times in my life unkind by being unthinking.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
so
Careless with my.
So intention, yes, it's intention matters. I don't ever intend to hurt people or be mean to people.
I do sometimes. I can be a bully and I can be a bit mean. I sometimes want to I'm just putting that out there.
I like that you said that.
Right? Like it's not, I am sometimes mean, and we can talk about like the mechanics around that later, but I just wanted you to hear that too. Like, yes, I appreciate that, and I'm working towards abolishing that kind of thinking out of my mind. But I am sometimes mean and snarky and backhanded.
Oh
and
yeah,
sarcastic.
no, that's fair. Same. That's fair. I like this admission, actually. Also, when we're not connected to our power, it comes out in other ways.
Yeah.
And tends to
Yeah,
be.
I'm usually hungry, angry, lonely, tired.
There's that
blah,
too.
blah, 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 blah.
Yes. Sometimes I've been told I've become so empowered and I practice so much that it's not always well received. And I can hear that.
Yeah,
I can hear that.
I can hear that. Someone gave me a magnet at a goodbye party from a job that I was leaving. And it said on the magnet, I'm not for everyone.
I'm definitely not for everyone.
I put it right on my fridge.
That's to remind me. I need that magnet.
To remind me, because it's okay that I'm not for everyone.
Yeah, because
you know
otherwise what happens is we try to be for everyone and then we lose ourselves. I know. It's so appealing.
Yeah, that's when we I think of like an ice tray or one of those games that you put the pegs in, the different shapes. And I'll just make myself into every shape.
Yeah. Oh,
right? I can bend this way.
Too.
I can bend this way.
Basic chameleon. I think that regarding goodness, it kind of comes down to like no one's all good and no one's all bad. So even some of the worst people that have ever lived that have done atrocious things.
Yeah, good. Let's say Hitler.
Yeah,
right? Let's just say it.
Yeah, we could say others as well.
Well, I know, but we're not. Let's just talk about someone who's dead.
Yes, okay. Good
talk
idea.
about someone who's dead, because it's easy to point at that.
I remember hearing that Hitler was a vegetarian, and I could not reconcile that. I actually don't know if it's true, but I heard it, and I couldn't reconcile it. Like,
because vegetarians are good people.
Well, also usually they're not always, but often for like moral reasons. So. Like maybe he didn't want to kill animals, or eat animals, but he didn't have any problem trying to extinguish a race.
Yeah.
And so.
But he thought he was right.
I think there might be like, I don't know how to qualify this, but he did. Maybe there are like a very small percent of people that are truly born so disturbed.
Just wired.
That like sociopaths,
chemicals,
for instance.
wiring.
Yes, that maybe
it has to do with the way, literally, your physiological congenital development.
That maybe there isn't a conscience in place to help regulate all of the different primitive ways of being.
Yeah,
that most of us have.
And like so, they were raised by puppies, right? Like they grew up in a corner of a room with no human contact.
You'd think if they were raised by puppies, though, they'd be very good because puppies are very.
But think about all the biting and peeing and pooping.
That's true.
That's why they're cute, so that we don't get rid of them.
That's true. And babies, too.
Carry on. We're getting off subject.
Okay. So
goodness and badness.
So maybe there's a core group of people that are truly born bad.
Maybe.
But I think that even with someone like Hitler, I look at that and people might just absolutely disagree with me, but I just see a wounded person. I see a person who probably adapted to some situation in life. But just think about the way generational trauma works and the way even abuse is passed on. I mean, there's generational trauma that lives in your DNA, but there's also like the patterns of abuse that go from, parent to child to child to child to child down through a line uninterrupted. Are those inherently bad people? I just can't think that. I can't think
either.
That.
I can't get on board with that either. I think that when you live in your convictions, you feel right. You believe you're right. thinking about somebody like Hitler, there's so many social pieces of the puzzle that are
Yeah.
hard to, right? And the view that we look back on is through a really specific lens
It's
and
true.
blah, 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 blah,
He's
blah.
a hard one too.
But like, if you think about the difference between, well, let's get off that subject. I agree with you that people are inherently good. I feel that way too. I think most of us, most of the time, want to do a good job, feel recognized for doing a good job, feel like they belong, and that their opinion has value.
Yeah.
Right? That's really what people want. And sometimes always when we behave badly, it's because something's wrong.
And when we don't get those core things that we need, we tend to act in very primitive ways that
Regressive behavior.
yes,
Yeah.
that are hurtful.
I do.
Yes,
Kick and stomp.
and that can be seen as bad.
Yeah.
But it's behavioral. I think it's that's the difference for me. Like there's bad behavior, but people are inherently good. But I also think people can have something inside them that is, like I said, I mean, if my kids were being threatened by somebody and I had a weapon, I would use it.
This is why I don't carry a firearm.
Right? And if I killed that person, I would have killed them. And would I have set out that day to kill someone? No. But could it happen? It could.
I think it could.
I think it could happen to anyone.
I think it could happen to anyone. Yeah. I love Hollywood for showing us the stories. I love being entertained in that way. But also sometimes Hollywood really helps us kind of develop our own understanding. Like, what would I do if I had to make that choice? Right.
Which is always the question.
That's great about these books, right? Like, we get to explore these things. That's fantastic. I feel the same way. How can you tell when someone is good? So if people are inherently good, if you meet a new person, what are the indicators in that space that you can say, oh, I connect with them, or wow, this person is good? Like, what are those? Maybe you don't even have those quite thoughts in your head.
So for me, it's deeply energetic. It's something I feel and sense from someone. And I don't know that I would say that what I'm sensing or feeling is that they're good, but that I'm aligned with them.
Yeah.
I'm aligned with their energy, which is why, not being for everyone is not a judgment call. Right. It's literally just a misalignment of energy. Someone who's very
on different train tracks.
Yeah.
Right. We might both be on trains.
And one train's not better than the other train.
Right.
And so when I think about meeting people, the people that I'm more likely to move away from are people who are trying to show me a version of themselves that isn't complete or is hiding something essential. So when someone says to me, wow, I'm a hot mess today, I'm leaning closer to them.
Got it.
When someone looks perfect and tells me that they're perfect in whatever words they're using, I pull away from them.
Okay.
So goodness to me is realness.
Yeah. Right on. And the indicators, it sounds like, is really feelings.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is for me.
Most people say that. Most people talk about how they make you feel through one version or another of that kind of discussion. They'll talk about eye contact or a handshake, or like that you can just trust them. You can just tell that you can trust, right? Like, yeah. And I push them like, well, how can you tell? What happens in your body that tells you that you can tell?
Because most people, it's an unconscious process.
Right. And I'm just turning a flashlight on it. You know what I mean? Like, how can we tell? And if we can become more aware of those signals, I just think it's to the better.
Yes.
Especially if I want to draw some boundaries around my time and energy, right? Because there's just some people that we're not aligned with enough to have productive time in those spaces. Yeah. We could have a class together, we get together and work this way or that way. But a lot of times giving them my phone number maybe is not a great idea.
Well, I would imagine with an energy as magnetic as yours, a lot of people want to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's true. And I'm okay with that. And
but you have to be good at boundaries, don't you?
I want to be available. That's the thing. When I was a kid, I would say to people, I want to be there for you. Like when I grow up, I want to be there for you. I want you to need what I have and I will get it to you. Like, and then in my 20s was very codependent with that, right? And was an alcoholic, and then started getting sober and getting therapy and understanding those things about myself. But I understand it, I think, when I was a kid, and I think what I mean now is that I want to be a resource for you.
Yeah.
And I want to be so well connected and so well educated in a rounded sense, right? that I can answer your questions or I can find an answer to your
Yes.
questions. You might be looking for someone to help you with this particular service, but I know just the person.
Right.
You know, it's more of being able to connect easily and meaningfully.
Right. So this makes me curious, especially going through the journey of sobriety. Most people who end up getting sober have done some things by the time they get there. And I mean, I'm a trauma survivor, so there were years when I acted from a triggered place
Ooh,
in my primary
my
relationship, in
name
my
is
marriage with,
Emily.
yeah,
I have
with as a
problems.
mother, you know, ways
Yes.
interpersonally, and it really impacted my life. Did it make me a bad person? I sure hope not. I don't
Right.
feel like it did. I did do some bad things.
When I find myself judging people on television for bad things, the guy at the Coldplay concert with his
Yes, I was
mistress,
just thinking about him a few minutes ago.
this poor guy will be forevermore judged for a mistake.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe not judged in the right word, labeled,
Yeah.
classified, put in a box, put in a corner, like of a lower value human or or
As if
whatever.
that's the only part of him.
I know. And it's like I see this and I hear the rage and they're upset for his wife and all these different things, which of course we don't know any of the story.
Right.
We don't know any of the story.
We don't need that for the, what is it, the trial of public approval.
But I'm thinking about this poor guy and I'm thinking, for the love of God, I am so thankful that in the 90s,
I know.
people, because there are some videos, because I was in New Orleans around the time
Oh,
that
boy.
Girls Gone Wild was new.
Wow.
And I was going down there every other weekend for about 7 months when I was stationed in Mississippi. Right? It was this close to
Yeah.
having, and I think if somebody had a camera on me when I made bad or
Right.
questionable choices maybe that I wish I had changed.
Yeah.
If someone had a camera on me and that was going to be my legacy, that just breaks my heart for that man and his family.
Yeah.
And her family, the woman and the whole everything.
Well,
right?
it's also such a holier than thou stance that people are like, that's awful. I would never do that. But people are
So
having
many
affairs
people are
all
doing
across
it
the
all the
city,
time. It's
and they
ubiquitous,
just aren't
right?
getting caught. So I don't.
And they're not talking about it, right? And I don't. I just think, oh dear Lord,
Yeah.
I'm so glad that no one is holding my biggest mistakes up on television or on a billboard or things like that.
Yeah.
And I try to have empathy for the people that I might classify as bad guys, like these greasy politicians.
Yeah.
I try to find empathy.
Well, I mean, not that we want to go back to Hitler, but Hitler himself is a very hard example. But if you think about the SS officers, I mean, I went through this period of time where I was just kind of obsessed with the Holocaust. I couldn't really tell you why.
World War II is super interesting to read about and dig into.
Yeah,
too.
and also just this idea that like this happened. How do we make sure this never happens again? That was always sort of one of my. I know, it's brutal. It's absolutely awful. But when you think about the level of brainwashing that both the officers had and the German people,
yeah,
it's really not that hard to understand how something like that can happen. And there,
especially
I
with no
believe
internet,
right?
There were very limited
Propaganda,
resources. Yeah,
no
your
alternative
lens
reality.
Was so small,
and I think a lot of that's happening now, obviously. And so, do I get frustrated when I see people acting in ways that I feel are bad or bad toward other humans? Sure. Yes, but then I also, as soon as I think it, I think, but why are they doing that? And I have to take myself back to,
when people behave badly, something is wrong.
Yes. What's the influence on them? Because I think that we think of ourselves as these completely independent thinkers, and whatever's in our brain is true. We are so influential to so many things, including good things.
Yeah. Right.
And so you just can't ever, I just think it's very erroneous to pluck a person out and say that's a bad person versus a bad environment,
bad behavior,
suffered through certain wounds or abandonments or abuses. Yeah. And to some degree, all of us have had something along those lines.
Fully agree.
I mean, when I was when my oldest was younger, and she came home outraged by a co-student's opinion on abortion.
Sure.
After having raised my children pro-choice and women's lib. I mean, they have two moms.
Sure. Right.
She was so mad and she was so judgy. She was like, I can't believe that person thinks that and blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, but let's just pause for a second and appreciate that you've grown up in a liberal, pro-choice
Right.
household. You think
Very
that
different.
women should have the right to choose. Had you grown up in the household that he's grown up in, you would probably think that and be mad at a girl like you.
And it would be hard
So you have to, whenever you're making an argument or, you know, debating, you have to understand why someone thinks that way. They don't think that way because they're jerks.
Yeah. Right.
Sometimes people act like
maybe
jerks,
they act like jerks, but it's not who they are.
Right.
Right. And yes. And sometimes I am a jerk. And that is what helps me try to connect and build that empathy. Yeah. Because I can be, I can think things that I am ashamed to say out loud.
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up because that was going to be my next thought, is that let's differentiate like good behavior versus good intentions, because I don't know why I'm doing that.
I don't know.
Air quotes go together because you can be the person that donates money to the food pantry and volunteers at the soup kitchen and, you know, such and such, but then you can walk around the world thinking shitty things about everyone and judging everyone. This is my shadow. I can be so judgmental of people in my head and super evaluative.
Me too.
Why are they doing that? What do they think they're, you know?
Yeah.
And I think,
how dare you come up to my window?
Yeah.
I'm driving in my, what? Excuse you. My gosh, I jumped down this guy's throat one time that was just wanted signatures.
Aww.
Anyways.
But it's just that idea that like I can act good.
Yes.
But I can be full of poison in my head.
How do I be
So
good?
does that make me good? You know, and I don't know.
It doesn't make you bad. Right. So this is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. So both things exist at the same time.
They do.
We are having a lovely time. We're going to head to our Tuesday forum after this and learn all about pelvic floor and all.
Oh, is that today?
Yes. I'm so excited about this. And just having a lovely day. But then I get in the car later and I'm on the highway for 10 minutes and I am
little road rage,
thinking things and maybe even saying them out loud that I would never say right now, right? Not in a million years.
Yeah.
Oh, and when I catch myself doing it is when I can bring awareness to the thinking and have a choice, you know?
Yeah.
But that's come from years of like teachers, right?
Totally.
And saying, like I would say to someone in my community, I'm really struggling. I'm in the car, I'm driving and I am not behaving like myself.
I think it comes down to like internal integrity.
Which I think is a skill you can.
I do too. And it takes radical honesty, which is one of my favorite things. It's my
favorite.
It's like my favorite tool to use with myself and with other people. Like
I do not recommend it alone.
Right.
Almost ever.
Yeah. Have a soft place to land with that.
Even if you just have to bookend your own what's going on in here with another human, I highly recommend having a buddy when you're exploring rigorous honesty.
Yeah. Or sponsor.
Yes. Yeah.
There's because shame's just too big.
Oof. And I can talk myself in or out of anything.
Yes. Goes back to influence.
Yes.
And persuasiveness.
Yeah.
This is why I almost think the dichotomy of good and bad is erroneous to begin with.
Because they can't exist without each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like sadness and happiness.
Yeah. There are things that we experience. I was thinking about the idea of happiness and I was trying to translate it with the word love in my mind, right? And how that is different when you're in religious communities or you're at school or you're at work and the different ways that we talk about this. And I've Sean Acor's book about happiness advantage is like one of my favorite things.
My wife loves that book.
Oh, it's so good. So he defines happiness as the state of reaching for your potential. You're in happiness when you are reaching for your potential. Okay. And some people talk about love as though it's not a thing. It's like a conversation, right? We are in a conversation. It's not, I don't know. I'm not explaining.
It's kind of like love being in action instead of just a feeling.
Or it's like it's happening. It's not like you can choose it or not choose it. You can't not be worthy of it, right? Like it's a thing that exists whether or not you put any effort or energy into it. But if you want to participate in it, look what could happen.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like it's happening whether you're participating in it or not. Your parents, maybe let's say my parents, because I don't know your parents. My parents love me and they would probably love you no matter what. Like they would just love you. And I know they love me. Even if I killed someone, they would still love me. Just the same amount of love. And that is completely irrespective of my participation in it. They love me inherently. they have love for me, love exists when they think about me, whatever, however you want to, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That thing exists with or without my participation.
Right.
And I think that happiness, we can sort of translate that in the same way, because people are happy
Yeah.
all the time. I might be miserable today inside, but you don't know that because I'm bearing that down deep or something. But this happiness is happening whether or not I'm participating in
Right.
it. I don't know.
I like that idea, and I like that in so many ways it really is a practice. You know, there's not a sense of like,
It's not like a checklist.
yeah, you don't arrive at it.
Right.
You don't arrive at happiness.
There's not a recipe
Yeah.
necessarily. Like it's already there.
It reminds me also of gratitude. Like I'm generally a pretty happy person now. I didn't
Yeah.
always. And
I'm mostly happy most of the
I've
time.
suffered through deep dark depressions and almost ended my life many times. So I know that side as well. But I feel like most of the time now I'm choosing happiness or I'm choosing love actively. And sometimes that's a really easy choice and sometimes it's a very hard choice.
Yeah.
Sometimes I really want to tell you how shitty things are, but then I catch myself, sometimes I do.
Yeah.
By the way.
Well, I mean, venting is one thing.
Yes.
But painting.
And focusing,
Yeah.
like choosing my focus. Which
Yeah.
do I want to focus
Yeah.
on? Which do I want more of? And I might be
That
in
takes
pain,
practice.
but I also want to experience more connection, more gratitude.
Yeah.
Like having a situation where I really believe things happen for a reason. So I have a lot of conversations inside my head and with my kids, like, well, why did that have to happen? That's just shitty. I don't see the lesson in it. I don't see what I got. I don't see it come around full circle.
Right. What's the point?
And oftentimes I think that what either we don't know yet, but that it also presupposes that we're like here to be comfortable.
Yeah.
And honestly, the biggest, best growth that I have had has come because my back was up against a wall.
No doubt about it.
Against a wall I would never have put myself against.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there are things I've pursued actively and gone toward and said, I'm going to dare in this particular way. But often it's been an invitation from life saying, do you want this? Like,
in or out.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I think it's all on the same spectrum of love, happiness, gratitude.
Yeah.
It's how are you going to choose in this moment?
Yeah. And when I struggle to choose, I'm usually alone in those moments. And so I like to teach people about building connections, right? Because even I might not even be aware that it's happening yet. But we have lunch together and then you're like, "Hey, before you go, you just don't seem like yourself.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?" And I might not have been able to bubble that up without a little bit of help, but because I've established a community around me and habits of going out of my house on a regular basis to deliberately, intentionally make those connections, right? That feels like the action of participating in that.
Yeah, and if you have loving connections, then somebody can say that to you that says, hey, just checking in versus what's wrong with you?
Yeah, what's your problem?
And if you're surrounding yourself with people who are themselves hard on themselves and self-shaming, and you're probably not going to be met with a whole bunch of love and kindness.
I mean, but you never know. They might surprise you.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Because a lot of times when we're in that space, we don't do it for ourselves, but we do it for everyone else.
That's true too.
And if we go back to the idea that humans are inherently good, as a manager of humans, I like to remind myself that everyone wants those same few things. They want to feel like they're doing a good job, right? They want to feel like they belong.
You know, to that end, if I'm in my life feeling like I don't matter, like I'm not being seen, any of those, like I don't belong, I'm being excluded, any of those like that really burn.
Yeah. Why didn't I get invited to that?
One of my ways to counteract that is to then give that to someone. I try to give it to myself.
What do you mean? What does that look like?
To look for someone who needs inclusion, whether sometimes it's just a stranger on the street who looks like they're struggling, and I just say, hey, you good? Do you need any help?
Yeah.
And for some reason doing that makes me feel like I'm in that same flow of the thing that I want to be. Yeah.
My sister calls those tiny cuts.
Oh, that's a good
one. We
talk
talk about them as tiny cuts. They might seem inconsequential.
Yeah.
They hurt a little bit, but they last. And they do have
and
some
if you're
meaning.
not careful, you can build a whole story around them. It's one thing to have someone not invite you to something. It's quite another to tell yourself the story that you're you're not really that likable.
Right.
You're not really of value to people.
And
That's
you
a
know this
whole
is true.
other.
I've been telling you that it's what are you doing? Why do you even bother? Why'd you even get out of bed today? What are you doing? They're laughing at you. Why do you even try?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that
Yeah, that's a
voice.
story.
That's the lie,
Yes.
right? You're not good enough and you never will be,
Right.
is the lie.
And it's just waiting there.
Yeah. And the truth is, good enough is irrelevant. This is what I'm talking about with love and happiness and gratitude. Like that good enough thing, there's no eligibility requirements.
Right.
You already exist. So you're eligible.
Yeah. And something really happens when you decide that decide once and 100,000 times a day that you are inherently worthy.
So this bridges us to the third question.
Okay, yeah, I forgot there was right. The first one was a twofer, so I thought, okay,
what do you wish people would just figure out already?
Also, so
right, it's kind of a
brilliantly.
perfect segue right into it. What do you wish people would just figure out already?
There are a whole bunch of answers that just came into my head. I think the most pressing one is that who they actually are is so much more interesting and charismatic
Wow.
and magical and expansive and attractive than who they think they should be. That when people are being themselves, it is so much more compelling, even if it's messy, ugly, not what people want to hear in the moment. It's always going to open doors for you, and it's going to bring you closer to yourself. I'm not talking about going in and knocking everybody's stuff over. I'm talking about standing sovereign in who you are with such a deep sense that you're allowed. I wish people would stop trying to fix themselves and actually just be who they are.
Yeah. Yeah. That, and that, how, right? So I love.
Well, all has to be allowed. It can't be just the good.
Right.
Like going back, authenticity, like it's such a buzzword now, and I see it all over social media. It just makes me cringe because it's like, use this product to authentically look like yourself.
Right,
like,
to authentically become a better version of you.
Yes, it's all self-improvement. And I'm big into internal work and transformation, but improving oneself is such a loaded term. And so
it really is,
especially for women, and especially as we age, this idea that like we need to try harder to look like we used to, or fight aging, or
just
all this.
Yesterday, somebody sent me a message and said, "Have you ever heard of this stuff? Jessica Simpson uses it in her lips." And I was like, "You don't need anything for your face.
Yeah,
drink some water.
Yeah,
eat healthy food.
Smile.
Yeah, you don't need anything for your face.
Radiate. When you radiate yourself, it's so
but
much.
But I'm such a victim to that.
I mean,
we've been trained to buy stuff.
There's an entire billion-dollar industry that relies on
our entire culture relies on
us
it
feeling terrible,
or that and pliable to the sense of urgency. You have to buy this right now.
Yes,
this is a great deal. You're gonna miss out.
Even self-care has become something that is just another should for women. You're not taking very good care of yourself. You need to be taking better care, and it's not the kind of care that like a woman might take of herself, which is to say, screw everyone. I'm going off grid today.
Yeah.
It's, you need to be working out, and you need to be eating this, and you need to be drinking this, and you need to be sending this to this many people. It's like, how is that even woman governed? That is not. That is, advice from the outside in.
Yes.
So I think that when women show up as they are, not only are they have so much to offer, they're connected to their gifts, their zone of genius, all the things that make them. We are all better for it.
When do you think people get to experience a taste of it?
I think it tends to happen at this age of life, where it's suddenly like you just have less fucks to give.
Yes, your perspective changes, right?
And some of that, I have to say, has come, this is hard to say, but it's true. It's come because I have aged.
Yes.
Like when I look in the mirror, I can't pretend that I'm young anymore.
No. Right.
The lines are there. They're not just there when I do this.
Yeah,
they're
we can't do that.
They're always there. And so I think there's freedom in that. Like, I don't, I could go and do something cosmetic.
Sure.
I don't want to. And at some point it won't even matter because aging happens.
Right. You can't. And so you just can't.
I think it's kind of liberating.
Yeah. And I if you look, if you do some reading on human development, right? The stages of human development, cognitively and culturally and all of that, it falls right in line, right? We're right where we should be at this age.
Yes.
We're 50-ish.
Yes.
Right? I've been out of high school for 30 years.
It's crazy.
30 years. 30 years I've 30 can't, it won't come out. 30 years I've been out of high
Good
school.
job.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think I love that it's a normal, natural process of aging is to become
Yes.
more of who we are, feel more able to or grow in our capacity to be who we
But
really are.
here's my bone to pick with it, and I think it's why I'm so committed to this work that I do in my writing and in my coaching and in speaking and teaching.
Yep.
For the most part, women of 50-ish and above have become erased and become irrelevant from culture
Yeah.
at a time when they are at their most powerful.
Yeah,
And
we become invisible.
I want all those women to come online, because this world needs the brilliance of women at this point. If we're going to create a new
Oh,
way,
yes.
we need different hands building.
I want to encourage you
We need your
that those
hands.
women that you are talking about, and some of them are coming into your mind right now, like Marion from the Tuesday Forum group, right? Like some people are coming into your mind. Though I want to encourage you that those women are showing up and they are doing work, but they're not asking for any applause.
Yeah.
And so we don't see them or hear them because they disappear into the community being excellent citizens.
Yeah.
So they're there. And the more that we look for them, and then we can celebrate them and say, this person is an example to me.
Yeah.
And this is what I want.
So one of the ways that women are erased, especially at middle age, is representation, right? You don't see a lot of women. There are more now.
Do you love what's happening with Jamie Lee Curtis? Are you seeing her?
I don't know I mean, I know her in general and love her, but I don't know.
I just saw a picture of her online, and she was at a stoplight in her car, and she had like just pulled one corner of her shirt down, and with her gray hair and her wrinkles and everything, and she's just in the car, and she was showing that she was wearing a product to support this cause, you know what I mean, this bra from Victoria's Secret or somewhere, and she was so just herself, just gray hair, and went out like,
yeah,
come on,
yeah,
so cool to
it's
see.
so cool,
and it's not really allowed
until we make it so.
Yeah.
And I think that's the really key part, is that we have to stop waiting for people to say, come on, women, you're invited. We've made this space for you. No judgments here.
It's never going to happen.
We have to literally create the space.
Oh, look, here is the space.
Yeah.
Would you like to come in?
Yeah, exactly. We can. And I love it for us to do that and invite women in, but we cannot wait for the society to tell us.
No.
So on Instagram, I had no presence on Instagram. I was trying to learn how to use it. And it feels like a very cool place, and I'm not very cool.
Right.
And I decided I hired a coach to coach me, and
good idea.
Yeah, she's awesome, from Tuesday Forum.
Nice.
And a longtime friend of mine. Yeah. Her name is Betsy Rand. She's awesome. If
I know Betsy Rand.
Anything,
she's my branding person.
See, she's amazing.
Yeah,
she
so really is amazing.
And she said, I really want you to bring your energy. Like, don't try to make something that other people are making. You got to bring you.
Right.
And she really solidified what I already believed but couldn't quite step into.
Yeah.
And so that became my thing. Like, I'm going to be as me as I can. So I show up there. Sometimes my hair looks like this, and sometimes it's on top of my head from a workout, and I'm all sweaty and I have makeup under my eyes.
But that's what we want to see. We want to connect with you,
because that's who I want to be. I am not doing it because I want other people to be like, oh, look at her, she can show up in all the ways. I'm doing it as a dare to myself to show up in all the ways, and hope that maybe it's resonant. So her idea,
cringy. It feels so cringy.
It was for months. It was cringy. Her idea, which I was like, all right, I love you, Betsy, and I'm going to try it, was to do like a dancing thing. So for months now, every Monday on Instagram, I dance.
Why have I not seen this? I'm going to go find it. What's your Insta handle? Do you know?
It's Suzanne Carver _ the true you.
Okay. I'll go look for that. And Betsy Rand Betsy Rand portraits.
Yes.
And she does branding, she does social media, and she does family pictures. Like, she's just a brilliant.
I don't know if she still does family pictures.
She might for special certain things. She might.
Took ours years ago, and they're still
brilliant,
on our walls.
right? She's so good with natural light. It's amazing.
So now, like,
she shot that picture I gave for Tuesday Forum.
Oh, nice.
She was practicing some, and I sat for her, and
she's so good. Yeah. So what this has done for me is, now I like dare myself to dance in other places. Like, this is a public place. This would be a great place to dance, but then I'll feel it all come up.
Yes.
Like, how weird and
it's like
cringy
prickly,
is
that feeling.
But how free do I want to be? And am I willing to take the lid off a little bit more? And so it does get views on Instagram, but honestly, I'm doing it for me.
Yeah. Well, it has to be, right? It's got to be, because that otherwise not going to resonate. It's the objective is to connect,
Yes.
not just to build our business, but to connect and be available and build our business. But if what they see is a rehearsed or a half step, or like a not quite giving it all,
Yeah.
that's going to translate, and people don't give a crap about that. They're going to
Right.
go right past it. It's just not.
I want to understand that better, because that's my
Mhm.
belief. But then you see these like super curated accounts that have just
They're
hundreds of
paying for that.
thousands of
They're paying
followers.
for that.
Okay. Well, also I think they must be attracting the people that want that, and I don't want those people. I
Not,
want the people
or
that
you want
want
them
what
when they're
I'm.
ready to come to you, right?
Yes.
You're not necessarily looking for the group that's interested in the sunglasses and the tanning lotion and, right, external sources of validation
Right.
don't ring true to you. And I think just like naming that workshop Weirdo Camp, right? Who do I want to come?
Right.
And how do I want, if I'm the person that I want to come to my workshop, how do I get my attention?
Exactly.
How do I
What
get
a
the
great
message to that person?
Yes.
Right? Is it on their phone? Is it through the radio? Is it on the television?
And Betsy taught me this really. I so thank her for this, because she taught me that I want the people who want what I'm doing.
Right.
Not I don't just want followers. I want people who are actually, she said, let your people be self-selective. If people unfollow you, celebrate that, because they're not for you.
Right.
So going back to, you're not for everyone, I'm not for everyone. If we could hold that as true, we're free.
Not just true, but peacefully true.
Yes.
Right?
Empoweredly true.
Because I will take it begrudgingly sometimes,
Yeah.
right? Like peaceful acceptance for me is critical. I can fine, I will accept this. Fine.
Yeah.
That is not peaceful
It's a really good
right?
distinction.
Yeah, that is. So when I think about, I struggle with this social media stuff because it feels cringy to me.
Yeah.
And if it feels disingenuous,
it feels a little bit like high school, doesn't it?
If it feels disingenuous, that feels gross.
Yeah.
And then another good friend had been marketing her jewelry online, and she posted and said, "I don't work for Instagram." And if you don't pay for the product, you are the product.
Right.
So it helped me reframe my thinking about social media. Like, it's not, I had it in my head that this was a thing that I had to accomplish in order to be successful.
Yeah.
It's a tool that I might learn how to use to enhance the things that I'm doing.
I was super cringy about branding for years.
Yeah, so hard.
And I had another coach say to me, branding is just a way for the people who are looking for you to find you. And that freed me.
That's it.
I was like, oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
Because I want them to find me, because I want to find them.
Mm-hmm. I have another branding session coming up in April. I'm so excited, but it's not with Betsy. It's with another photographer. It's with Kristen McKay.
Oh, I don't know her.
Oh, I'm excited. She did Jamie Kenny's, the Maine virtual mobile primary care. Jamie Kenny, do you know who I'm talking about? She's a traveling nurse practitioner who does primary care and urgent care.
Wow.
She's amazing. So Kristen did her branding. So gorgeous. Oh, beautiful, beautiful stuff.
Nice.
Kristen is someone we should get connected probably to Tuesdays, but.
Well, I want to know when our podcast is starting, because this is fun.
Isn't this so fun? This is so fun, right?
So fun.
It does feel like a little cringe too, but it's like, it's so fun.
It's so natural.
Yeah, it does feel really natural.
I think that when you're being yourself after hearing a lifetime of shoulds, it's always going to be a little bit hard, but that doesn't make it wrong.
Yeah, it's usually probably
the sign that it's right.
I like to think that the degree of struggle is directly proportional to the degree of benefit.
Yeah.
And so the more difficult a challenge is, probably the benefit,
the payoff, yeah.
The size of the payoff can be measured in a direct comparison.
I love that.
Yeah. It's not so bad. It's just hard sometimes.
Yeah.
It's hard kind of all the time. And so since it's hard all the time, we might as well have a good time
doing it. It's like reestablishing our relationship with challenge. My wife is a big nonfiction reader. She's reading a book right now, probably for the third time, called Good Stress.
Ooh.
And it's about good stress on the body, I think, particularly. But it's this idea. It's I think it's meant in part to debunk the idea that we're not here to be for everything to be easy. I think that when we come from that place, we're setting ourselves up.
The world's telling us that, though.
Yeah,
right?
it
You
is.
turn on the TV. Literally, there was a commercial by Lazy Boy.
Well, let's
Literally,
consider this story.
they're
this Lazy Boy.
literally telling the consumer. They say it out in the commercial. Don't get out of your chair. You deserve to rest and relax. And while that's true,
Yeah, it's not always true.
what they're promoting is, one, buying their product, and two, a culture of thinking you need the product and you should stay in the product and not try harder so that you will keep wanting their product.
Yeah.
They don't care about us at all.
I know.
But the window,
spoiler alert,
and the message, right?
Most brands don't.
Right? The message coming to us is different than what we're talking about.
I mean, don't you think in general the truth is always somewhere in the middle, because nothing's all good or all bad, but neither can we sit at home on a lazy boy all the time, or can we be striving and pushing all the time. There's got to be a middle road for all of it.
If you want quality, right? If you want quality, I agree with you. 100%.
And for me, I have challenged myself enormously in my life. I've been challenged, and then some challenges I've signed up for, this being probably one of the largest.
Yeah.
But then in addition, there are times when you have to rest and integrate. That was the part I was terrible at. I would just keep going. And it came from, in me, a place of feeling like I needed to fix something.
Yeah.
So I couldn't rest, or I'd stop. You know, it was like that drive. And that was
when you work for yourself, you're supposed to be burning the candle at both ends. It's supposed to be really, really hard.
Yeah.
Really, you should be struggling.
It's like misunderstanding what hard is.
Right.
And I think things can be challenging, can be stretching us, can be like expanding us without having to be grueling.
Right, we can embrace
exhausting.
that, celebrate the challenge, like we do if we sign up for Muddy Princess, and we celebrate the challenge, right, of running up the giant hill, like the same. Wow, I'm exhausted. I haven't slept at all this week, but you know what? I'm gonna rock this week.
Yeah,
right. Like I feel like
doing it with
if
joy.
we can apply that same, but I need community to do that. I really do. I won't do it for myself,
and I need to be constantly supported and exposed to and around women who are loving themselves in the way that I want to love myself, which is sometimes really diving into what I want to create and pushing, and other times resting. So it's like you can't always be exhaling, you can't always be inhaling. Right. You have to have both.
I like that.
And because culturally we don't have a framework for this for women, we are creating it together
as we go.
So find your women to do that with, and build something you want, and hold each other accountable when you are in a rut, or if you're overdoing it, so that you can do it lovingly, not with shame. You haven't figured it out yet.
It would be like if I tell you, I really need my own space at my house, and you're like, well, I know you've been working on that room for a while. How's that coming? Yeah. Right. That's a different kind of holding you accountable, right? But if I never shared with you that I wanted that space, or I was working on that space, then that I hadn't participated in my community in a way that I can get what I need.
Exactly.
Right.
Which requires us to show up.
It just does.
Authentically.
Yeah. Here we are back at the beginning. This has been a lovely discussion.
It's so fun.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
When I heard your 3 questions, I was like,
yeah,
I want to do that.
We should do this again sometime. And I'm getting, Ann Covey.
I know Ann
Covey Physical Therapy. Yeah. So we are getting together to do a podcast.
Fun.
Pretty soon.
Okay.
We're having a planning meeting this weekend. And I think it would be delightful to have you come and talk to us.
Oh,
it's going to be a small group of women, me and Ann Covey and Barb Cookson and Cheryl Willis.
Nice.
And sitting around talking about wellness.
Do you have a name?
Not yet.
Oh, can't wait to hear it.
Not
yet.
It'll
be a good one.
It's, when you have a committee of 4 people, sometimes those things take a little bit of time.
Sometimes they do.
Yeah. But I don't.
Even when you have a committee of 2.
And I don't feel driven to be in charge.
Oh.
This has been a change over the years.
Yeah.
I don't feel driven. I want the ship to sail itself.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a captain that has to be there. I want to be a captain that teaches the ship to sail along.
I love that.
Without me.
That's a whole other like stage.
It is. Yeah. Yep. I'm writing about that too.
Cool.
Yeah. So let's get together again.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming.
I'm so appreciative.
Okay, Flight Path. Go find it at Briar Patch. Go say hi to Gibran from us.
Yes. Sign copies.
Yeah, and go on Instagram and say that Instagram handle again.
Suzanne Carver.
Yep.
_ the true you. And my web address is thetrueyoublog.net.
Nice. Good. I'm going to ask you to text me those things.
Okay.
And when I post the video on my YouTube channel, I will include those things in the description. And then we'll share that on the social medias and we'll share it all around everywhere.
I do individual coaching and group coaching. I do teaching, workshops, retreats, and which would be very fun to do. And speaking, I'm working on a keynote right now.
Great.
Around women in power.
Ah, fun.
I love to be face to face with people. It's my favorite. I love to meet readers. I have a reading event this week, and I just it's my favorite.
Good. Yeah, me too.
Face to face.
Me too. I love it. Yeah. If you don't know yet, go. Dreamer Food is open. Dreamer Food is open. They were the amazing food truck down in Bangor Waterfront for 2 summers in a row. It's Lebanese and Armenian food.
Yum.
It's going to knock your socks off. Every single dish hits. And so working in the food truck as the window girl all summer, I had the time of my life.
Fun.
And every single encounter was dreamy because the food hits every time. So you never have a bad moment with people.
That people are there.
So they're open Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 11 to 7. End of the day, end of the week, end of the day. Lebanese and Armenian food. Get you some shawarma.
Bangor Waterfront?
No, they're open at 97 Allen Street. It's brick and mortar. They opened a restaurant.
Oh my gosh.
They're nurses. They work in the community. They're involved in the community. Kara, my sister, her son goes to school in the community. Like they're well tied in the community. The address is 97 Allen Street.
That's awesome.
It's the corner of Hammond Street and Allen Street, right in Bangor. Oh, no, sorry. 14th and Allen. 14th and Allen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for coming to the live.
Oh my gosh, that was so fun, right?